So I saw this mentioned on the live stream last night, I think it was, that somebody said a man was arrested in the Crystal Rogers case. So I was like, who is Crystal Rogers? Well, she was a woman who disappeared in 2015 and her body was never found.
Whoa.
So it says a Nelson County man was charged with criminal conspiracy to commit murder and tampering with physical evidence in the connection with Crystal Rogers' death. His name's Joseph L. Lawson, 32, pleaded not guilty Thursday, and Nelson Circuit Clerk, and his bond was set to $500,000.
Does the evidence seem good?
You know, I don't know yet.
Yeah, like, with this being a news update. Yeah. No, so I got you. That's interesting.
Yeah.
When did the crime occur?
So it says in the indictment that it happened in Nelson County July 3rd or July 4th, 2015.
Okay, wow. Okay, yeah. So like 8 years ago.
She went missing in 2015. Her body was never found. Agreed to aid one or more persons in the planning or commission of the crime or an attempt or solicitation to commit the crime when he and or a co-conspirator intentionally caused the death of another.
Whoa. So he might not even be the guy, but might just know about it.
Yeah, he's not charged with murder. He's like charged with conspiracy to commit murder.
And they don't have the body still?
No.
Whoa, I wonder how this came out then. That's super rare that somebody gets charged and picked up, especially for a co-conspirator charge, and they don't even have the body?
I know.
Or an arrest on who did it?
I know.
Strange. That is not common, you guys. That is not common.
That's why this is so weird to me. When they mentioned it last night, I looked it up and I was like, what the heck?
And that's not a plea? Those are just the charges that were brought against him?
Those are the charges. So it says Lawson is not charged with Rogers' murder, but prosecutors instead charged him with the lesser offense of conspiracy, meaning they believe he was involved in some fashion with whoever killed Rogers. So he's probably not the guy, and they're probably like gonna try to get him on some plea and like, you know, tell us who it was, and you know, maybe it's something like that.
Yeah, it could be, because, like, I would expect to see those charges on somebody that was like, you know how they overcharge and they go big in hopes that the person will plead down to a more reasonable charge? That's what I was expecting to hear from this, and that's why those charges were brought against him, because, you know, he came and talked and they agreed to these charges or whatever, but it doesn't sound like that. It sounds like those are the original charges that were brought against him.
I think they're looking at it like, if he doesn't tell us who it was, then we have to have charges that are able to stick.
Yeah.
And conspiracy, we think, could stick. Murder, no. We don't have enough evidence for that.
I'm so curious what all that is.
The arrest warrant has to be like, they have to have evidence to arrest him.
Yes.
And charge him.
Not in Moscow, but yeah.
Maybe they wouldn't let them charge him unless, like, with murder. Maybe they're like, you have enough for conspiracy, but not murder.
Right, yeah.
So this is super strange, and I want to dig more into it. It's just something that was brought to my attention, and I thought it was perfect for a little news story here, and a promise to look into it more. It says, in addition to the indictment charges, with complicity to tampering with physical evidence when he destroyed, mutilates, concealed, removed, or altered physical evidence. So the maximum penalty for that charge is 1 to 5 years in prison. The conspiracy charge is 10 to 20.
That's so strange, man. That is such a strange charge to bring against somebody when you're not even charging them for the murder. It almost makes me feel like they couldn't find the body but have proof that he was involved in moving a body or something like that. Like, I'm just trying to think of ways where they would charge him with that in moving or changing evidence or altering or hiding evidence, conspiracy to, in this way. And I'm just having a hard time connecting it. So definitely bookmark that, because I'm super curious, because that is so uncommon.
I know. I don't know what to think of it. Wait. Court files show a Kentucky State Police detective and an FBI agent as complaining witnesses in the Lawson case. What does that even mean?
Complaining witnesses?
I think that might be a typo, because I was like, what? Complaining witnesses? What does that even mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, definitely want to look more into it.
We have a couple Kentucky viewers, too, that we know about. So if you know more about this, please let us know.
Yeah, and it's being called a very complex case, which I think is pretty apparent, that there's no body. We don't know what happened to Crystal. We don't know who murdered her. We just have somebody who they think was involved somehow.
It's almost like this man came forward with like eyewitness account, statement, or evidence, and they decided to charge him with that. Like that's how I feel like it's kind of set up, you know, because it's so strange.
I know.
We definitely got to follow it up.
Okay, so here's a little bit more information on when she went missing. So she was last seen July 3rd, 2015. The next day, her car was found on the side of Bluegrass Parkway with her purse, phone, and keys still inside, but no sign of her. That's pretty much all I know right now.
Disappeared. Okay. Well, I am super curious about that. Let us know what you guys think, and we will...
Oh, you know what's really weird?
What?
One more detail before we close this out.
Okay.
The FBI, I didn't see this because at the very bottom, I thought the article was over. It's not. The FBI is also still investigating the death of her father, Tommy Ballard, who was shot and killed the year after her, 2016, while hunting on his own property.
What?
A year after she went missing, he was shot and killed on his own property.
Her father killed her.
What?
Because why else would they bring conspiracy charges to hide evidence or whatever, but not, like, it's really strange that there's enough evidence to charge someone with as a co-conspirator or secondary without charging someone with the actual murder. So if her father did it, the murderer would be gone, would be dead. They wouldn't be able to charge them with that. But they might have enough evidence for this guy who helped the father get rid of a body or something. You know what I mean? And they put it in the same article, so there's relevance there. These are clearly tied together.
Well, it's strange, and the FBI is still investigating it, so we don't know who killed her father. So it makes me wonder if it's deeper. Like, were they involved in something, you know, her and her father?
I don't know about that. I think, yes, that's totally likely, but I think since they charged him with co-conspiracy, I was thinking this the whole time, and I should have just said it from the beginning, but it sounds like the murderer is just gone. So I was sitting here thinking that maybe the actual murderer's in a different country, or that the actual murderer's dead, because I have a hard time understanding and thinking that they could charge a co-conspirator and not the murderer. There's no way there's enough evidence for co-conspirator and not the murderer. It's impossible. So that murderer would have to not be here or be gone.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yep. But let us know what you think.
Yeah, I want to know. Because it's a mystery.
Yeah, and we'll bookmark this. Bookmark this. That's an interesting one for sure.
Yeah.
But